Before we begin, let's start with the problem before we can the solution. Let's start with the questions. We are going to, did any of you attend the Bradford session that we had? No? Okay, well, we'll start with the new session then. It's not a problem. Urdu only English.
Dono.
Mix.
Dono.
No, tell me, because
English.
if he does not understand Urdu,
English.
then he's not gonna get anything.
English.
English, yeah. Okay. No. So let's start with the general questions, then I can actually understand what you guys where you guys are at right now, and then we'll get it up there. Okay.
साहिल भाई अस्सलाम वालेकुम। उर्दू में या इंग्लिश में बोल?
Huh?
उर्दू में सवाल?
Yeah, no, sorry, you can use that.
तो मैं मैनचेस्टर आया था, तो बहुत ज़बरदस्त लोग था। उधर आपने कहा था sort of like it's the responsibility of the imams. ये जो फेल हो रहे हैं ना बच्चे यहाँ यूके में,
Yeah.
पेरेंट्स भी है लेकिन इमाम पे आपने ज़्यादा फोकस किया, ठीक है ना? तो इसका सोल्यूशन भी बताएं इंशाल्लाह। तो हमें क्या करना चाहिए?
Okay.
ये दोनों इंग्लिश में भी आंसर दूंगा।
No, I'm only going to speak English.
ठीक है।
Is this boy, what's your name, sir?
Yes.
It's hot.
Isa.
Isa. Isa. So,
Because मेरे सारे बच्चे इधर हैं, so in English that be good as well.
that's what I said. You're the one who complained about this.
We all are.
English.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay. So, what is the meaning of the word imam? That's the real question. What is it? No. That's what an imam does. But what is an imam? You understand what I'm saying? Ustadji. Yeah, tell me, anyway, have you never thought about the word imam? Where did it come from? What does it mean?
Leader.
No. See, that's the problem. You need to understand, this is such a simple concept. It's going to fix most of our problems. This building, when it started, and any building when it starts, there's a certain process that every building goes through. Does anyone know what is that process?
Teacher, to define the purpose of the building.
No, okay. Yeah, okay, so yeah, but when it starts to construct, how does the foundation start? Think about it. Yeah, you know about this? You wouldn't really possibly know about this. What's your name? Sudais, yeah? So, what do you want to say? Yeah. Start with the mouth. Literally. Okay, there are three different ways a building can go wrong. Okay, the foundation is set on a two-dimensional axis. Every building, okay. They dig a little hole and then make sure that, they tie a little string and then they dig up in that hole, they put a little stick in there. Okay. So the lines are drawn perpendicularly and straight. But then there's another dimension that the building can go wrong. Okay? So we use this little device with a little bubble in there. You know that? Yeah, that actually straightens the building up from the other axis, which is where the direction of the bricks are going to be inclined or straight. So there's a three-dimensional axis point through which the building actually straightens itself up. If you don't mark those things, the building can go either in this direction or wrong or in this direction. We use a certain device, everybody uses that, to get the building straight in both the axes. That little device has been used for 3,000 years, actually some say 4,000 years, ever since there were buildings. That little device is called Imam in Arabic. See, now that's the problem. We get lost in semantics that Imam is the guy who actually leads the prayer. Even though Imam is the guy who's going to lead the city and set the direction and no one's going to go wrong. Imam is that element of the whole equation that's going to set the direction of the variables. Because if there's a constant, then there's a constant, but there are variables and they can go wrong in multi-dimensional diagrams. So Imam is the guy who actually assesses, understands, and modulates the direction of the whole community that it actually leads. It's not just a prayer. This is where Imam actually manifests the Imam. Okay, but he constructs that Imam in that age. Every guy who holds this pulpit understands that there was such a big terror in the hearts of the Sahaba when they used to look at it, because this was the pulpit of the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam. Sahabas didn't even go close to it, let alone wanted to be there. No, nobody wanted to be there because they knew the responsibility. This is why Umar Khattab radiallahu ta'ala anhu says that if a single man's iman goes down in the streets of Medina, I am the one who's responsible. Imagine anybody who's sitting there says this about Bradford. That's the Imam, a multi-dimensional problem solver who's going to set the direction right. That's the Imam. That's why anything that goes wrong, you gotta blame the Imam. So, the guy who's actually holding the Friday sermon, he needs to really assess that little child. He needs to know the name of that child. He needs to know the name of this child. Because this is the building stone of Bradford. In 10 years from now, anything that I'm going to say, he's going to do. He's going to become. I don't want to see the white bearded guys. They don't matter. I want to see the kids. I'm not responsible for anything that the bearded old man is going to do, because he's not directed by my words. He's old, he's wise, he can do the math himself. This boy thinks I am the last word. You know why? Because I represent religion. Any other professor of physics is going to teach him physics. He's not going to learn any other physics than the teacher of physics. Very big responsibility. Very, very big responsibility. Because that's physics. That's going to impact the progress of the world. I teach him wrong physics, a lot of machines are going to go wrong. If I teach him wrong mathematics, most of the things are going to go wrong. But if I teach him wrong Islam, everything's going to go wrong. That's the difference between this pulpit and any other pulpit in Oxford and Cambridge and any other school. This guy leads the teachers of the schools. This guy leads the professors of the university. This guy leads, he's top notch. He's the highest pedestal there is. This is the problem. We need to understand how important the Imam is. He's way more important than the police, the chief of police in Bradford. Because this man is responsible for all the crimes. And if someone has any doubts, I just quoted you Umar Khattab, that even if the iman of a guy goes down in the streets of Medina, I am responsible. You know why he said Medina? Because he put imams in every city and town. Those were responsible for their streets of their town. This man was sitting, radiallahu anhu, in the streets of Medina. He is the Imam. There is no other masjid when there is Umar Khattab sitting in the pulpit of Masjid. The Prophet's mosque, the central mosque. That is how important the Imam is. So if you want to be in this spot, I'm sorry. Every time they call me in the masjid, I get scared. I'm like, no, this is not it. That's why he said, sit down. I'm not going to sit in this one. I'm sorry. I'm not. I know the psychology of this city, because this is not any other building. This is a masjid. This is the center of everything. This is the center of your akhirah. So I can be very casual in any university. You send me to Harvard, you'll see I'm going to be blazing with all guns out. You know? And you send me to Makkah, on the streets of Makkah, and I'll be casual. But if you send me in a masjid in the remotest possible town of Sydney, I can't be casual. This is why I'm telling you, Islam is the only solution to every problem, because the people who take up this responsibility are responsible for every problem of the human child. Mothers should run to the masjid. Fathers should run to the masjid. Tell them the problems. Imams of the masjid should be abreast of whatever is going on in the house, the home of his own town. He is way bigger than the chief of police. He is way bigger than the chief surgeon of the hospital. He is way bigger than the teacher of all the schools. He is way bigger than the professors of the university. But we don't use this building for that purpose. We come here to get out of this building. We feel a certain sense of relief when the prayer is over. We all know that. We can't be lying in a masjid. As soon as Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullah, everyone feels relieved. We should be crying. But you know what? I was talking to Allah Azza wa Jalla. Ali ibn Abi Talib says, when I want Allah Azza wa Jalla to talk to me, I open the Quran. And when I want to talk to Allah Azza wa Jalla, I pray. That's the difference between how a Sahabi was trained into Islam and how we're trained out of Islam. That's the problem. And this boy deserves to be trained into Ali ibn Abi Talib, not Sahil. And I will be questioned, because I know, I'm telling you, today after today, you will be questioned, especially Imamis. You took Islam casually, I'm sorry. There's a bigger problem. You're either creating a problem or a solution. There is no neutral point in Islam. And either this boy is going to be the biggest problem solver or the biggest problem. Now you tell me, who is the Imam? That's the problem. That's why. Who asked you this question? Oh, sir. So now you know.
Thank you.
Thanks.
I wanted clarity for the rest. I've been following you for about past year, so I know the answer, but I want others to know as well.
You didn't have to say that.
Thank you.
Okay, yeah. Sir, anything else? Before we go. Yes, sir.
I was at your other lectures, and basically the model that you presented for.
No, please put the mic to the camera. Yeah, go on.
Oh, okay. But the model that you presented for basically, British Muslims or Australian Muslims or people with the higher IQ, right? That's why you're here. You sort of presented the model of the Jews of America, more or less, to do what they did, right?
Not America. Globally.
Well, all right, fine. But my point is, wouldn't you consider the way they sort of built their influence was sort of with the conditions of America as well, because they were still building the institutions, and they got lucky, but they put in the hard work as well, right?
You didn't get lucky.
I mean,
That's the most unlucky, the unluckiest nation in the planet. Okay? Allah Azza wa Jalla made them unlucky.
Right.
Maghdubi alayhim.
right, that's right. But my point is,
No, but let's get this concept straight. Jews are not lucky. Jews are performing. Call a spade a spade. They're putting in the work. They're connecting with each other. Okay? I just came from Manchester, they're big, and, Newcastle. Gateshead? That's the name?
Gateshead,
yeah, sure.
I just came from there, literally, I just came from Gateshead, and the car stopped in Bradford. That's the biggest Jewish cluster after Israel. They have their own laws in Gateshead. They have their own community in Gateshead. And we can't even, announce the Fajr Azan because it's before 8 o'clock here in Bradford. And that's the only city where you can actually hear the Azan. And we're boasting about it that we can do azan here. Well, that's not an achievement, sir. You know what's an achievement? They actually put the right standards in. We're not even looking at the right standards. Achievement is if this boy is known in less than 10 years for his actual achievements in Miami and Manila and Miyawali at the same time. That's an achievement. That's the adhan. If this boy is not known, he's not loud enough, then I don't care whether you can hear the adhan of Zohr or Asr or Maghrib. You need to understand how they're looking at things and how we're looking at things. They're producing products, machines, industry, and we think they're just collecting money. And they're misers and, selling interest rates. No. I'll tell you, I studied under a rabbi. It was a natural, social science subject. And because I was a Muslim guy picking on him, and he was a Jewish guy picking on him. And he said, to me, such a wise thing. He said, it is not the Jews are powerful and they're making Israel because of their power. You Muslims got it wrong. It is not the powerful Jews that are making Israel. It is Israel that is making Jews powerful. We have a central purpose. When you have one single purpose, every single attribute that is required to build that purpose comes about. We don't ask his father or mother, give me list the 10 attributes that they have designed for Isa. They're not going to be able to answer you. Because unless if you don't know where you're going, doesn't matter if you want to take left or right. So we need to write down a purpose statement for Isa. We need to write it down. And you know what? The bigger problem is that only his daddy and mommy is not enough. Imagine if I had 200 brothers, blood brothers from the same father. Imagine that. And I only had one son. 200 chachus. Imagine 200 chachus in different companies, CEOs, in industry, and business, and whatnot. What is the future of that nephew? He's got his work cut out for him. Every single thing is placed. Everyone is actually charting out a plan and giving the resource. That's the wonder boy. That is what Prophet ﷺ said. That every Isa should get 2 billion chachus. But he does not. He doesn't even have a single chacha. His own chacha doesn't understand the list of attributes in place. He's raising his own son. And somehow, and sometimes, his son is a bigger problem for Isa. You need to understand. We're competing with each other as if, this man is going to lead me to Jannah or something. Even though, I swear to you, this concept is going to lead me to Jannah because of, my nieces and nephews competing with my sons and daughters. That's all we're doing. That's the role of an imam again. Combine, connect everybody. And you know what? I'm in Bradford, ironically, that we talk about this in Bradford. Bradford is the biggest cluster of Pakistanis out of Pakistan. And Gateshead is the biggest cluster of Jews outside Israel. Now you do the math and the comparison about what they're doing and what we're doing here. You'll see the different perspective. The worldview is different. That's how Israel is empowering them. And Pakistan is actually, most of the Pakistani concept that we have is, irradiation. It's decaying us. By the way, they have Tel Aviv radio, Tel Aviv TV in every home. We have Geo and Airline in our home. Nobody likes Netanyahu in their homes. Okay? Because he's a liberal. You need to understand. They're after looking at their rabbi. Geo-ARY, not even a single deen concept given by Geo-ARY. If anything, they're ruining our deen. Most of our women are watching plays and dramas. They know everything about what's going on in the next episode. They're actually writing down next episodes. I've seen women actually crying, old age women, of why that character died in that play.
It's true.
They're gonna raise imams? No, they're not gonna raise imams. Let's be honest here. Gateshead, Bradford. Let's do the math. That's I'm sorry. Give credit where credit is due. They have 5 books in the Torah, from Genesis to Leviticus to Exodus. We have 114 books. In 5 books, they took over the world. We have 114 books, we are at the bottom. And they are maghdubi alayhim. And we're still waiting for Imam Mahdi's second, Isa ibn Maryam's second coming.
I still have a disagreement with that sort of statement because
Speak up, please. Speak up.
like I said, I have a disagreement with that statement that they're following the Torah because according to their laws, they can't really establish the state. It's like one of their major sins. So I wouldn't.
Glory to who?
Well, I think Maimonides, is it his 5th law or 6th law? I'm not
Yeah.
sure which one. But he said that,
Listen,
you
you're a
can't.
Muslim here, okay? You can train a Jew. I'll tell you why. Because we know what the Jew did. You know who told us? Allah Azza wa Jalla told us. Maimonides did something wrong here. He's the guy who used his pen in the Torah. Allah Azza wa Jalla says, establish the rule of Allah to us. And then he told us that I told this to the Jews. And then I told this to the Nasara. And now I'm telling you that Hakam established the Hakam. Now Maimonides says, you know, we're not told about this. We're going to scatter around and you do tabligh, that's dawah, that's it. That's Maimonides. Allah Azza wa Jalla said, establish the system. Now you're listening to Maimonides. I'm saying, Allah Azza wa Jalla says, I gave the same covenant to every single nation. And then Allah Azza wa Jalla says, ask them, oh, what was the covenant? Pucho inse, kaun sa wada liya tha? And you know what I was told by another scholar of Islam, that this statement means there was no covenant. A'udhu billah. Even though Allah is reminding us, pucho to sahi, wahi wada liya tha, jo tumhe diya hai. And in Surah Muhammad Allah says, if you're not going to do this, you're not the last nation. Don't think about this. You're not the last ummah. Allah's going to replace you with someone better. Allah can't told me. This is the problem. And you better solve it. You're of age. In 10 years, sorry. You'll be too weak to do that for many reasons. And though most of them are not economic reasons, most of them are religious reasons. I'll get to that some other day. So it's a problem I better solve for Isa. I better solve it right now. I better understand who he is. What's his next 5 years look like? I better understand it, not just know it, understand it. I better know his father. I better know his mother. I better know his sister or brother. I better know school. I better know his grades, his performance at physical activity and mental activity. I better know him. Because he's in Bradford, I see him every day. But I don't see him every day. You know, I see him for 10 minutes in Jummah, and that too, he's also, this is like a sprint. Who's going to get out of the masjid sooner? Most of the Bradfordians are waiting कि मस्जिद आगे वाली घर से पिछली वाली सब में जगह मिल जाए because I need to make an exit. It's like reverse parking. You know, this is a problem. I want to see a masjid where the young lot fills the first saf. Here in Bradford, I'm assuming these chairs fill the first saf. That's the problem. The slowest man in Bradford makes it sooner than the fastest man. The guy can't even walk and he makes it before me. So that's the problem. Shame on us. Guy can't even walk with a broken back, makes it before me. And I call myself a Javan, you know, of age, youth, sorry. Gateshead, Bradford. That's the problem. And I'm not just talking about the Jews. Hell, even the Japanese are better than us. They don't believe in God. They believe in the emperor. I'm just saying, Jews are doing it for their God. We are not doing it for our God. Allah Azza wa Jal has told us what they did. What was given to Musa alayhi salam. What was given to Isa alayhi salam. What was given to Muhammad bin Abdullah sallallahu alayhi wa sallam. Allah has told us, I don't change my sunnah. Inna deena inda Allahi Islam. From day one, I only had Islam. Okay. Well, there you go. Now, assuming that, you know, they were given the same covenant, which of course they were, then that means they are following the right covenant and we're not. जो कौम भी आएगी इस वादे पे अल्लाह उसको बरकत देना शुरू कर देगा. It's a very simple math. It's the sunnah of Allah Azza wa Jalla. You know, I was little and I used to wonder, because I was in America, and I wonder, why is the Jewish meat halal for me? Like what? Why? As a child, you know, that's what you think. Why, when they slaughter, why is it halal for me? It was like, in my late teens, I understood that, you know what? They believe in Allah, well, it's clear. That's why they believe their meat is halal for us. This is not a small matter. That means if they actually abide to even a part of Torah, they're going to get whatever that we were promised. We just don't see it like this. And I just don't want to make this conversation about the Jews. I'm talking about Muslims. I'm talking about the Isa. Imagine ironic, this boy's name is Isa. How ironic is that? And I'm sitting in front of an Isa, talking about Jews, and I'm a Muslim. How this trifecta combines every single time I hold a microphone. Yes? Anything else? Anyone else? Anything from the sisters here? No? Okay. Yeah, then, yes, sir.
My question is about this lot of people, not in here, I'm saying about even Pakistan, Iran, predominantly Muslim countries. A lot of people are leaving Islam. Atheism is increasing. And to be honest, one of my friends, very close friend, unfortunately, he became atheist as well. And day before yesterday, he sent me a book, Odium of Buddha. He's, mashallah, very well known scholar. And he said,
Pakistani speaking guy turned atheist.
But he is still, you know, living in from last 25 years
England.
in Italy. So the Odium of Buddha said is that we have about more than 2,500,000 people, 25 लाख जो है वो इस्लामाबाद में और सराउंडिंग एरिया में जो मदारस में बच्चे पढ़ रहे हैं, लेकिन इससे ज़्यादा हमारे नौजवान एथियस्ट हो गए हैं. वो सिर्फ इस्लामाबाद की वो कह रहा है.
इस्लामाबाद में 25 लाख एथियस्ट तो नहीं है, मगर
नहीं ये वो सराउंडिंग एरिया और सारा मिला के
25 लाख एथियस्ट पूरे पाकिस्तान में नहीं है.
जिस तरह उन्होंने वो
मेरे पास जनरली स्पीकिंग
क्लिप मेरे पास टाइम है आपको दूं, लेकिन इसी तरह अगर आप यहाँ पे BBC का
व्हाट्स द पॉइंट
मेरा जो पॉइंट है सॉरी कि why people are leaving Islam when at the moment, you know, when we have too much awareness, and also because if you say specifically, you know, Pakistan, we have a, you know, madaris, thousands of madaris, mashallah, Muslim scholars as well. And now people are becoming, you know, openly mulhid. So why? In this situation was not 20 years ago. Even someone who do not believe, but they hide inside. So please,
yeah, of course. Okay, let me tell you something of how much time do I have? This might take a little while.
Yeah, 20 minutes.
No, that's good. 20 minutes? Yeah, because I'll tell you, okay, atheism is not the biggest problem. Not just for Islam or the church or the synagogues. Atheism is not the biggest problem. But you need to understand, it is the symptom Well, one of the symptoms of the biggest problem. If atheism is on the rise, then the biggest problem, the mother of all problems, has unleashed itself. Again, I'll tell you something. If we were in a political power in the world, if we were the political power of the world, Muslims, then atheism would have been in no problem even for the Christians. The Christians would have saved Christians, and the Jews would have saved the Jews, and people of the Abrahamic religion would have, kept their code, because we do represent the Abrahamic code. But since we don't understand how the system works, how the hierarchy of dominance works, how people mimic subconsciously and a lot of times consciously, everybody in general population mimics the behavior of the people in power and people of competence and people of dominance. That is power. That is why these kind of things just start to pop up. So people who are going to be atheists are going to be having two things in common. One, there will be a power under the influence of which they are living, which that power does not represent religion, and that power does not represent religion. The second factor that they're going to have is they're going to have weak parents who do not have any sort of structured psychology. They'll be haphazardly moving through life. These two things are going to be in common, and the child is going to naturally go into atheism. I mean, we're pushing it for her. So you see, when atheism goes, I'm in England right now. I'm actually in a country which is actually the most, by ratio, the only atheistic country in the world. England is the only atheistic country in the world by ratio. So what? The King James Bible. You know the King James Bible. The biggest denomination of the Christians believe in the King James Bible. Is King James, the English King James Bible. This is where the Church of England actually runs and controls. The custodian of King James Bible is your King Charles right now. And this is the biggest atheist country in the world. Because something else is dominant. Christianity is not dominant here. Something else is dominant. What is dominant? So you need to understand where is this hierarchy being created. Who's calling the shots? What is it? What is the hierarchy right now? So when you see that the hierarchy of dominance is not of religion or for religion or by religion, then our kids are going to be like, "Faida kaise deen ka bhai? Isse to kuch milta hi nahi. You don't get anything out of it." It's a natural desire of every man and woman to be in power, to have resources, to be listened to be obeyed. This is a natural desire. Adam ke bachche, we are the kings of Jannah. We were made in Jannah. Every human being who is, sent to this planet is going to practice the progeny of Adam alayhi salam. That is one of the biggest arguments against atheism, by the way. Why do we practice some Jannati being here? Every little invention that we're making is of the king. I don't want to move, I just want to press a button. In about 20, 30, maybe 100 years from now, we won't have buttons. We'll just be thinking about things so that they can happen. From cooking to cleaning to going places. People will be laughing at us for using these sort of mechanical devices. We are so dumb. And we think this is advancement. We're going to go that fast. Did you know who told us? Our Prophet ﷺ told us. He literally did this. That people will be doing this to talk to each other. He used his thumb and his finger. And we think, it meant ke mujhe phone karo. No. He is actually telling us this is how communication will be done. So these things are going to go. Understand how to look at the progeny of Adam alayhi salam. This is a classic king's desire. Har bande ko power chahiye. Nobody likes it when his wife or kids don't obey him. Why? Where is this coming from? Because this is coming from the prince of heaven. Every girl you ask, what do you want? I want to be pretty. How pretty? The prettiest. Till when? Forever. Where is that coming from? Of course, she's the princess of Jannah. This is the why Allah Azza wa Jalla is telling the story of Adam alayhi salam so many times. Why do you think? He told us where Adam alayhi salam was created. He was created in heaven. He was sent to earth. He was not created from this clay. So we're always going to be practicing that. So this is where the demand of power comes from. The demand of power comes from there because it is innate, instilled before we are born. We want that power. So this child, when he's going to grow and see a weak father and a religious father and a powerful atheistic society, he's going to be like, this doesn't work, that works. His natural inclination, the machine is going to run against your belief. This is why the biggest problem, not atheism, the biggest problem is not going into power. This is why Allah says, لِيُظْهِرَهُ عَلَى الدِّينِ كُلِّ. We better understand this is the Muslim identity. هُوَ الَّذِي أَرْسَلَ رَسُولَهُ بِالْهُدَى وَدِينِ الْحَقِّ لِيُظْهِرَهُ عَلَى الدِّينِ كُلِّ. All these systems, you better take over them. Otherwise your kids will dismantle you. That your model doesn't work. I want to be working with a bigger model. This is a simple problem. This is a problem of psychology. We're thinking this is a problem of politics. No, this is a problem of psychology. We better solve it. And if you're not psychologically ready to be mommies, don't have babies. As Muslim mommies or Muslim daddies. Because if you're not going to, he's not going to listen to you just because you can slap really hard. He is naturally going to listen to you if you're wiser, you're competent, and your performance is better than the rest of the people he can ever see. Otherwise, he's going to be listening to Noam Chomsky's and, Finkelsteins and Shapiro's and whatnot. Because they're performing better. That's why you see your kids on YouTube all the time, listening to people they have no relevance to what your mental models are. And they're looking at you with a frown on their foreheads. They go to masjid and they're like, "Jaldi nikalo this. Sheikh is boring." So, transitory stage, problem nikalna, फिर कहेंगे solution. Transitory stage में दाखिल हों, go into transit. Transit is express the problem to your kids. This is the problem, so that they would know that this is a problem. Instead of going towards the most powerful regime of whatever they're under, they would understand that this is a problem, we have to solve it. It is way more cool to solve this problem than to be in power. It is to be in power to solve the problem of coming into power. Please understand, I'll repeat it the third time. For any boy or girl, it is a feeling of a deeper sense of power to solve the problem of being into power. So they're going to remain intact. But we're just not even presenting it as a problem. पर मार के नमाज़ें पढ़ा रहे हैं बस और वो पढ़ भी लेगा नमाज उसमें क्या है आपके सामने I've seen girls in their period praying because अम्मी ने थप्पड़ मारना है कि अबू बहुत सख्त है नमाज नहीं हो रहा है They can't even say, you know what, this is not going to happen. No, Abu policy maker aa gaya hai. It is a problem. This is not how parenting is done. Parenting is done through psychology, mental capability. Understanding how the mind of a child works. And it is the son of Adam alayhi salam. It's not just my son. He's going to practice the progeny of Adam alayhi salam. From Adam. Even though he's born in Bradford. It is the bigger cycle that's going to run. Adam alayhi salam ki progeny, meri progeny is both stronger. Okay, so he's going to demand things which inshallah he's going to enter Jannah. He's going to be like, oh, अच्छा यहाँ से आ रही सारी ख्वाहिशें ये दुनिया में मुझे हर बात की हर चीज चाहिए थी वो इधर से आ रही थी क्योंकि यहाँ पे ऐसे करता हूँ सब कुछ ये भी नहीं करता हूँ खाली सोचता हूँ सब कुछ मिल जाता है इधर से मैं रिवर्स इंजीनियर करता था अपनी पूरी लाइफ को इजादात कर रहा था inventing and running around things so that I was putting so much effort so that I wouldn't have to put any effort This is circle of life. And Allah Azza wa Jalla is telling us through the Quran, this is the circle of life. Understand, what happened. How did you come here? We're just not looking into it. By the way, non-Muslims are looking into it. They just don't know the story of Adam alayhi salam. This is how ironic the thing is. They understand the psychology, they don't know the progeny. We know the progeny, we don't understand the psychology. Such a beautiful disparity right in front of 7 billion people. Only a Muslim can solve this problem, and he's just not looking at it. मैं बता रहा हूँ आपको उर्दू में बता रहा हूँ जान के किसी दिन किसी गोरे ने मिलवॉकी या बाल्टीमोर में कुरान खोल लेना है सारा कुछ पता करके ले जाएगा उसका मुंह देख रहे होंगे बैठ और वो कुरान को थप्पड़ की तरह मुंह में मारेगा कि बेशर्मो ये तुम्हारे पास 14 साल से थी हमें साल लगा इस पे और हमने क्या निकाल लिया इसमें से This is the problem. We better solve this problem. This is my biggest solution to 7 billion people. If I can look at it. But if I can't, then he is going to be another problem for the 7 billion people. Yes.
मेरा पेरेंटिंग पे 2 क्वेश्चन एक्चुअली एक तो पेरेंटिंग को रिलेटेड 2 क्वेश्चन है एक तो ये कि इनिशियली जब बच्चे छोटे होते हैं तो हम पेरेंट्स और मॉम फाइट कर रहे होते हैं कि अच्छा बेटे मुसलमान ऐसे नहीं करते क्योंकि वो जैसे ही ग्रोन अप होते हैं और सोसाइटी में देखते हैं तो मुसलमान मोस्टली वो चीज़ें कर रहे होते हैं जो नहीं करनी चाहिए हमें उस चीज़ को कैसे कोप अप करना है सेकेंड क्वेश्चन मेरा ये है कि एक जगह पेरेंटिंग पे हम देखते हैं कि इस्लाम कहते हैं बच्चों को बहुत प्यार से लेते हैं लेकिन दूसरी तरफ बच्चे प्यार से हाथ से निकल रहे होते हैं तो बड़े कहते हैं कि हमें तो इस तरह से कंट्रोल किया गया था कि जैसे हम कोई बुरा काम करते थे तो एक लगती थी वो सीधा हो जाता था तो
कोई भी सीधा नहीं
तो ये कंफ्यूजिंग है कि हम
पिछली 2 नस्लों को लगी थी और क्या हुआ टेढ़ी मेढ़ी निकली सीधा तो कोई नहीं हुआ
इसलिए फिर होता है कि अच्छा बच्चों को डांट के लेके चले या प्यार से लेके चले जो समझ से कि ये
जैसे 2 सवाल हैं दोनों का आपसी ताल्लुक इतना नहीं है लग ऐसे रहा कि है असल में नहीं है अमाल का दारोमदार नीयत पर नीयत का दारोमदार सोच पे सोच का दारोमदार माहौल पे ना माहौल तो आप नहीं बदल सकती यू आर इन ब्रैडफोर्ड मे बी यू डिडंट वांट टू बी हियर मे बी यू डिड डोंट मैटर नाउ यू हियर That child does not know कि हम मेरे वीज़े में कितनी तड़प और अरमानों से पहुंचे थे He doesn't care. He is born here. अब माहौल आपके मर्जी से यहाँ पे चेंज नहीं होता अब as soon as you know that this is what it is, this is what it is, this is what Bradford has to offer. Now what? Well, you gotta do whatever is the next step. The quarantine strategy. मुसलमान ऐसे नहीं करते होते ईसा. Wrong statement to begin with. Wrong statement to begin with. मुसलमान ऐसे सोचते नहीं होते ईसा is the right statement. अमाल का दारोमदार नीयत पे है नीयत का दारोमदार सोच पे आप उसके अमाल ठीक करेंगे सोच नहीं ठीक करेंगे अमाल ठीक हो ही नहीं सकते सोच नहीं ठीक उसको सोचना सिखाएंगे नहीं अमाल करना सिखाएंगे ही तो बेशक करेगा प्रैक्टिस कर लेगा अच्छी आप नहीं होंगे प्रैक्टिस छोड़ देगा I am telling you, I swear to you, England is teaching them how to think. Go walk down any street, they're going to teach them how to think, any school, any college, any university. They're not going to tell them what to do. They're going to tell you why you should do this. And we're never telling anybody why Islam is the solution. This is the problem. वो हायरार्की में देखते हैं विजडम इधर है मामलात इधर है करतूत क्या करने करनामे करने इधर है क्यों करने हैं सोच कैसे बनानी है एवरीवन इज अट्रैक्टेड टू द थिंकर दुनिया की हायरार्की आज तक आदम अलैहिस्सलाम के पहले बेटे से टिल टुडे द हायरार्की इज लेड डाउन smartest people on top right now everyone is looking at what Scandinavia is going to produce or physics is going to produce what is the physics lab doing and everyone in the world is waiting for it. No one is waiting for Barack Obama, who's Joe
Biden.
What's his name? Joe Biden. Joe Biden is going to say something. No one's waiting for it. Some new discovery from the, physics realm. Everyone's waiting for it. This boy knows probably, most probably, James Webb Telescope in the So fascinating. But progeny of Adam al-Islam is speaking, we're not listening to it. We're just not looking at Adam al-Islam in everybody. The actual man who was made in Jannah. We're just not realizing the potential. Jannat se literally Jannat ki asli makhluk iske andar abhi bhi nazar thi hai. Dekhenge to nazar aa jayegi. We're just not looking at it. We just don't want to look at it. हम ये देखते हैं अच्छा कितनी प्यारी नाक है इसकी आंखें माँ पे गई हैं और it's like really that's all you got from a child. मुकाबले वाले किसका बच्चा ज़्यादा प्यारा? Shame on us. So Adam al-Islam ढूंढें. Find your Adam al-Islam in your child. You'll find out what is the fascination curve and teach him how to think. That's all you can teach him, by the way. After that, no matter what you teach, won't matter. No matter if you don't teach him how to think, all of what you're going to teach is not going to last for more than a day. I was in Birmingham. You know what the problem in Birmingham? I hope you don't have that. Little kids are sucking on helium balloons. It's like a thing in Birmingham. Cartoons never did that 10 years ago. You know those little chipmunks? You won't even know them. They were like old news. Alvin and whatever his name was. Oh, you know that? They're still here. Oh, they used to speak like that, eh? Muslim kids in Birmingham, opening shops of helium cylinders. People are just going stuck in a balloon and, getting high. हमारी तो problem में cheap level की. I mean, at least get some seriously cool problems, which, your big brains we would get. No, our problems are in the smaller brains. And by the way, I don't blame them as much as I blame the women. Because the Muslim woman is trained not to think. We don't produce thinking Muslims. We produce thinkers. एक तरकीब निकाली चोरी की फ्रॉड की ऐसी टेक्निक्स एक बंदा मुझे कहते हैं इंग्लैंड जा रहे हैं सर नेशनलिटी लेके आना सर I'm going to from a month तो सर 100 तरीके I'm like you came up with that as well really you know how to do that in 30 days it's like sir आप एक बार guess करने वाले बने वहाँ पे नेटवर्क है So yeah, we think of how to become a billionaire without spending a dime. We think how to, गर्दन पीछे से कैसे काटेंगे. Yeah, at least we think of something. Mommies are not thinkers. Mommies are just like मेरी brand identity है lover. के पास बच्चे को प्यार करती है, बस हर बार प्यार और बच्चा समझेगा great mother. That's not a great mother, sir. You're not even a good nurse. Great mother होती है तो दिमाग को ऐसे मुअत्तर कर देती है. सब कुछ ऐसे कायनात उसके अंदर आ जाती है. We are not doing this. This is on you. I'm sorry. Because we are not home. We don't even know how to carry the child. And it is done in the first 12 years. That's what Allah told you. Bacha palo. Repeat? Yeah, nothing. I always break. So, बेटा ये नहीं करते is not the right statement. बेटा ऐसे नहीं सोचते क्योंकि you know what's going to ask a follow-up. There's a follow-up. He'll be like, तो अम्मी फिर कैसे सोचते? You don't know the answer though. Yeah. So you need to learn the answer. That's it. And we're done. आपका काम हो गया. आपने थिंकर प्रोड्यूस कर दिया उसके बाद आपको कोई और तरबियत की जरूरत भी नहीं है फिक्र नहीं करेगा. He's gonna do the math on his own because you taught him the math. कि कैसे सोचना कैसे. हम लेकिन बता रहे हैं ये बंदा सही है ये गलत है. नवाज शरीफ चोर है इमरान खान ठीक है. आदमी गलत है तो ये क्या कौन गलत है बताना ही नहीं. क्या गलत है बताना है. कौन वो खुद ही ढूंढ लेगा. हमने बंदे तय कर दिए हैं, वो फिर देखता है कि नो पार्टी बनानी है, मुझे सेक्ट बनाना है, मैं शिया नहीं होना, सुन्नी होना, वाबी नहीं होना, देवबंदी. It's like how evil can we get? We kill our own child even before he could possibly come into his own power. सबसे बड़ा डाका है कि अपने बच्चे की सोच ही नहीं, उसके बाद वो मफलूज ही रहेगा सारी. That's what he done. And you know what? मैं जितने मर्जी यहाँ पे सेशन करूँ, I'm only hopeful from the 20 and 30. You know what? Because he hasn't had kids yet, or maybe he has, but they're only 3 and 4. बाकी तो उस चक्के में मैं भी इस चक्के में हम घूमते हैं. It takes a lot of toll to break that wheel. It is in 3, 4 generations. Grind it into me. I can't just change us like this. That's why 52 khutbahs in this pulpit. Not much of Bradford is changing. You need to hit where it actually matters. And this 20 and 30 zone, who is about to have babies or has babies which are toddlers, that's your zone. They're going to make the change. By the way, they are in bigger numbers in population as well. So you have maths, backing you up. But you got to look at it from the right angle. Oh, not Imam, right angle. Imam, he set hoga, baki sab kuch set hoga. So spot the babies, count the babies, connect the babies. Make sure all of Bradford is raising all the babies of Bradford. अगर आप लोग इकट्ठे नहीं हो रहे, फिर आप ही दुश्मन हैं मेरे बच्चे के भी दुश्मन आप. अगर आप और मैं और क्या चाहिए, आप तो जुबान भी है कि आपकी इंग्लैंड में उर्दू में बात करते हैं. और क्या चाहिए, दीन भी एक है, कुरान भी एक, अल्लाह भी एक, नबी भी एक. और क्या चाहिए आपको कंबाइन होने के लिए? और क्या एक करूँ आपका बताएं. I don't even get it. और कितने रीजंस मिले इकट्ठे होने के, हम अगर नहीं, हम नहीं मिले, हमने इकट्ठे नहीं हो. अच्छा खूब ना होना इकट्ठे, एक दूसरे से मुकाबले करते, बच्चों को इकट्ठे करते हैं. अगली नस्ल तक तो ना ये बात है. So it's a problem only we can solve. Nobody can come in and solve this problem for us. I'm sorry. Nobody. And how it starts? The solution starts with me taking care of Isas and so this is because they're not directly related. I gotta be the giver. एक गिवर चाहिए होता है, पूरा शहर गिवर बन जाता है. इतनी ताकत होती है गिवर. वो भी आदम की प्रोजेनी है भाई. वो भी अल्लाह की प्रोजेनी आदम अलैहिस्सलाम के अंदर डाली हुई है कि देने वाला बन सबसे अट्रैक्टिव बन जाएगा. जब भी कोई शहर देने वाला बंदा सारा शहर उस पर अट्रैक्ट होता है. लेने वाला तो सगा दोस्त भी हो, भाई भी हमसे दूर रहता है. क्या तू तो सिर्फ सेल्फिश ही है, मफाद के लिए बैठा, वरना तुम साथ भी ना. That's a natural call. It's the inner calling. So how बस अपने ऊपर सैक्रिफाइस का एक दौरा अपने ऊपर खुद मुझे तैयारी करना पड़ेगा सैक्रिफाइस का. और मुझे पता है सबसे पहले कौन आएगा मेरे सामने, मेरी बीवी आएगी. कि आपको अपने बच्चों की बजाय लोगों के बच्चे अजीज हुए. घर जाना मेरा मसले में हो जाएगा. We all know that. इस ओके, कोई बात, कुर्बान कर देंगे बीवी. क्यों? मुझे एक नस्ल तो कुर्बानी है कि मस्जिद में जितने भी बच्चे आ रहे हैं सबको मेरा पता हो और मुझे सबका पता. I'm the old guy, right? I better be collecting kids here. This is what I'm saying. अगर ये वाली साफ नहीं ना भरती, दूसरी मस्जिद खोलने की जरूरत कैसे की हमने बैठकर? ये वाला हॉल फुल फजर में पैक नहीं हो रहा. You're not supposed to open the second masjid because masjid has a purpose. Everyone's going to combine and connect. आपके इतने ब्रैफर्ड में मुसलमान ने जितनी मस्जिदें खोल दी हमने. अगर हर मस्जिद में एक ब्रैफर्डियन पहुंच जाए तो पीछे कोई ब्रैफर्ड में औरतें ही रह जाती. By the way, masjid women come to masjid in Bradford?
Very few months. Only a few months.
All of England is going to that?
Only Ramadan.
In America and Canada, Pakistani women go to masjid. It's so beautiful.
साहिल भाई, हमारा ये मानना है कि ख़वातीन पैदाशी तौर पे इस्लाम जानती हैं. इनको जरूरत नहीं इस्लाम की.
खूबसूरत बात.
सिर्फ हमको जरूरत.
ये गलती हमारी है.
तो हम सारे मुजरम हैं, हम सारे क्रिमिनल हैं. वो मैं आपने कहा ना मैं.
और कैसे शुरू होगा? ये बच्ची का नाम क्या आमना? What's her name? This is Suicide. Oh, that's a boy. Where is Amna? क्या दैट्स आना है ना, वो बच्ची जो है ना उसने अगले 15 साल में वहां बैठना है. So it is my failure at this age, at her age, my failure as a father. And I'm not her direct father, but I have the role of her father because I'm in the same masjid. Domicile एक हो गया हमारा. So you're right, हमने खुद ही assume कर लिया है कि वो चूंकि दुपट्टा करती है, हिजाब करती है, तो पाकबाज औरत है, तो इसको कुरान भी आता है, हदीस भी आती है, फिक्र भी आता है, इसको ये मुहद्दिस भी है, मुफस्सिर भी है, खुद ही. And how does it start? We have to testing amnas at that age. We need to put them onto a test. कि भाई किस लेवल में परफॉर्मेंस, इस्लाम में परफॉर्मेंस क्या है तुम्हारी? खाली पर्दा is not the performance. दिमाग कितना ग्रो किया हुआ है? What kind of sister are you going to be at this age? In about 5 years. In about 15 years, what kind of a mother are you going to be? वो कैसे पता चलेगा? We have to check her performance. As a father, duty बनेगी ना. So their fathers, okay, 10 years or 15 years ago were here at this age. And now you are here, you have little amnas sitting there. That's the circle of life. So वही बात है, बच्चा ईसा भी उतना ही बल्कि amnas become way more important than Isas. Because in about 20 years, amnas are going to be raising 4 or 5 Isas. This is about the क्यों लड़की ज़्यादा इंपॉर्टेंट है इस्लाम में? क्योंकि सबसे नाजुक हालत में इंसान आपको अल्लाह देता है. जो मर्जी करना है करो, तबाह करना है तबाह कर दो. इतना सा एक नौ मौलूद बच्चा आता है और अपनी नज़ाकत तरीन हालत में होता है. He is the weakest human being when Allah gives them to you, and He is of power when Allah gives us the children. हम कुछ भी नहीं कर सकते, जो कर रही है कर सकते हैं. So you are that powerful. इतना अल्लाह ने इसलिए इस्लाम में लड़की का नखरा रखा हुआ कि कुछ भी ना करो, बस कोई सवाल नहीं होगा. कितने पत्थर तोड़े कितने नहीं, कोई सवाल. हमसे हिले की गलत तरीके से हिले ही क्यों थे भाई? क्यों नहीं काम किया, क्यों नहीं प्रोवाइड किया, क्यों नहीं पैसे बनाए, क्यों नहीं बच्चों को पाला, क्यों नहीं बीवी को प्रोटेक्ट किया? Every question on us. You अय्याशी करें. Imagine. असली मुसलमान इसका फलसफा क्लियर होता है, बीच में से पता है जेलस होता है औरत से, सब कुछ अय्याशी करेंगे बेचारी. हम कुछ ना करके दोज़ख में, आप कुछ करके दोज़ख में. हम कुछ करेंगे नहीं तो जन्नत में नहीं जाएंगे. आप कुछ ना करें तो 90% चांस जन्नत ही. आप
2 क्वेश्चन है यहाँ.
यस सर.
एक क्वेश्चन तो ये है कि ताला जो आपका था about the imams. हमारे पास 2 टाइप के इमाम. एक तो वो इमाम है जिन्होंने अपने चेहरे पे जबरदस्ती की भूख डाली होती है, ऐसे सलाम भी है तो वो चेहरे को आगे पीछे करके दुआ है. आम बंदा डर जाता है कि ये बंदा हम में से नहीं है, ये खुद अल्लाह का खास तरीका है, ये नायब है, मैं ये दुखा हुआ. मैंने पिछले साल दोस्तों के साथ मिलकर जरूरत रिश्ता का कारोबार शुरू किया, दोस्तों की मजबूरी की वजह से. पिछले 6 महीने में 9 बहनों ने फोन किया कि भाई आप हलाला करवाते हैं. मैं सर पकड़ के बैठा हुआ हूँ कि हमें पता ही नहीं हो क्या. 9 तो मुझे फोन किया है, इमाम साहब बैठे हुए हैं, पता नहीं उनको किसने फोन किया होगा. कभी हमने ये नहीं देखा कि ओवर 80% डिवोर्स रेशियो होती है. ये मैंने काउंटिंग किया अपने इर्द गिर्द.
80%.
इंग्लैंड में मैंने रिसर्च.
वो नो
जो मेरे लोग हैं
80%.
क्यों डिवोर्स हुए? शादी हुई.
अच्छा आपके पास जो हो सकता है उसमें no it's not even 50. I think it's about 15, 10, 15 ish.
अभी आप वहाँ पर जब करेंगे ऐसा इसलिए है. हमने कभी देखा तब्दीली नहीं की. इमाम साहब ने कहा आपको यही बता दें कि कुदरत डिवोर्स से जायज हलाल है, तो ये किन सूरतों में रहना चाहिए और कैसे बच सकते हैं. तो होता ये है कि वो गुस्से में आए थे और उन्होंने कहा डिवोर्स हो. अभी तक हम बेहतर ये बता नहीं सकते बच्ची को बेहतर हो जाएंगे ना कि अगर डिवोर्स करनी है तो अगर सब्र करके अगले दिन पी के ठंडा होकर करो. तो डिवोर्स के बाद तमाम का एक तमाम ये हो गए जिनके पास हम जाते नहीं है क्योंकि वो और हम में गैप है. वो अखबार नहीं पढ़ते कभी कम इंग्लैंड में पढ़ते नहीं है. गड़बड़ में क्या हो रहा है पढ़ती थी वो साफ हो गया जबकि ये जो बच्चा बैठा हुआ है इसको पता ही नहीं जंग में क्या हो रहा है। हाँ अलबत्ता गुड खबर ये है कि जो यहाँ आपके दाएं बैठे हुए हैं मैं यहाँ के साथ मौजूद आया हूँ शायद जो मेरे जो इदारे में जो मास्क है वो ये वाहिद मास्क है जहाँ पे इमाम फुटबॉल अभी अच्छा प्लेयर है क्रिकेट टीम का कैप्टन है और बच्चों को मस्जिद में इंगेज रखता है बाकी एक्टिविटीज हैं जो हमारे बच्चे को सोच रहा हूँ हर वक्त आज लेकिन वो मैच हुआ था आसन क्या हुआ क्या था हम उनके डोमेन में नहीं जाएंगे वो मेरी बात कैसे सुनेंगे। तो हमारा इशू ये है कि अब हम इमाम को एजुकेट कैसे करें बच्चे की माँ को बच्चे का बाप को करेंगे ना इमाम ही एजुकेटेड नहीं हम कहाँ जाए।
Well, listen, the community qualifies the imam. You have to understand that. Okay? And I'm not, because in the domain where you're going to listen to what I have to say about how to pick an imam. But the community naturally is qualifying them out. But the community in Bradford, I don't know whether you're even qualifying them out or not, but naturally a community has subconscious and conscious indicators of whether, they're going to stick to their imam or not. So the basic qualification of imam is set by the community. However, in Pakistan, community does not set the imam. Awqaf and the madrasa sets the imam. It doesn't matter whether it's performing or not. He's got to have the same sanat. And that's it. Unless he dies or he's replaced for whatever reason, he's not even replaced by the community. So he's doing a job. Actually, that's called institutionalization. He's actually on the payroll and he's got to satisfy his boss. Islam is exactly the opposite. The community qualifies the imam because is he solving our problems or not? Is he actively taking the initiative or not? Is he preemptively diffusing the problems or not? That's job one. That's probably the only real job of the imam. So I'm not just going to talk about imam because I'm not in any sort of it'll create a sort of a dissonance in your heads. आप लोगों को लगेगा कि सर ये आपकी डोमेन नहीं है आपने इस्लाम की डोमेन यही है ये हर मुसलमान की डोमेन है। मैं शाफई रहमतुल्लाह का एक वाक़या को सुनाता हूँ। That's the first thing that is trained to Shafi'i followers जब आप fiqh पढ़ते हैं कि Shafi'i was traveling and he sat in the masjid कोई फजर की नमाज थी और उस मस्जिद के इमाम ने सजदा सहव गलत किया and he was traveling and nobody knew Shafi'i at that time. So Shafi'i ने क्या किया जल्दी से वो because he didn't want to disrupt the whole quorum. So he wrote a few points of why he did the sajda sahib wrong and he gave it to Imam. Imam read it and he started arguing and Shafi said, okay, let me enhance this, and he started writing more. And then till date, that is the only real document used by all Muslims on the fatwa of sajda sahib. How many problems can you actually have in the namaz? How to actually correct them, so on. This happened like this. So why am I telling you this story? It is the job of every Muslim, regardless of who you are or where you are, to go and check up on your imam. Because if the imam has actually sort of any problem, everything is gone. It is not the committee or the donors or the whatever, people who are behind. This is not a job. This is not a career which is based on payroll or whatever. This is the job of Allah Azza wa Jalla's most important role here, that you are going to lead the community. So it is the disqualification of the acumen of the Islam of Bradfordians that if you have wrong imams. It's not the imam. It is us in Bradford who are actually a mirror of what kind of Islam do we have. So if you're complaining about the imam, it's like, what? It's on you. It's a simple test. This is a thermometer of what the community is feeling. If there is a fever or not. This is the thermometer. So you can't be like, oh, Masjid ke imam, Sheikh boring hai, okay. Either give him feedback, straight up, tell him to correct yourself, otherwise get rid of him. You cannot have these sort of attributes in the imam because the child is going to actually replicate it. आप नोटिस करके देख लें हर स्कूल का बच्चा अपने प्रिंसिपल और हर मदरसे का बच्चा अपने मुफ्ती साहब की कॉपी होता है। कपड़ा भी वही पहनता, चलता भी वैसे। सही कहा आपने, वो वेस्ट कोट हर पाकिस्तानी मदरसे ने क्यों पहनना होता सलवार कमीज के बाद? You need to see, we mimic. That's our chemistry. We have to mimic the man in power. The hierarchy में जो ऊपर होता है उसकी हमने कॉपी बनानी होती है, especially in this age. They talk, they walk, they dress up the way their heroes dress up, or the people in power dress up. That's natural, that's innate. So जैसे ही आपको पता चले as adult, able, Muslim men कि इमाम साहब में ना जरा सी कमर में सरिया आ गया, या तो आप सरिया निकालें या इमाम निकालें, क्योंकि बच्चों में सरिया आ जाएगा नीचे। You need to understand how important it's not just imam. If you ask me about imam, so I'm asking because किसी और पल्पेट और इस पल्पेट में फर्क होता है, ये अल्लाह और उसके रसूल को रिप्रेजेंट कर रहे हैं सल्लल्लाहु अलैहि वसल्लम। You need to understand. Any other place going on does not hinder the akhirah. This 1% error, akhirah tabah. Akhirah tabah. Na'udhu billah. May Allah protect us. This is how we are going to get the biggest solution or the biggest problem. This is where. So this is, I'm not going to answer this halala question. That's something which I'm pretty sure you all know. ये तो पाकिस्तान में बीमारी खत्म हो गई है, तो इंग्लैंड में कैसे आ सकती है? Yeah, so you know, it's a common sense thing. So I'm not going to comment on that. अल्लाह ने बस सूरह तलाक में एक दफ़ा ही कहा है, याद रखिएगा, कुरान पाक में अल्लाह ताला ने तलाक के मौके पे ही कहा है, जब भी कहा कि मेरी आयतों से खेलना मत। I'm talking to women, make sure you understand that. अल्लाह ने तलाक के ऊपर आके इस तरह में गुस्सा जाहिर किया कि कुछ भी करना, खेलना मत मेरी आयतों से। और हमने उजाड़ के रख दिया कॉन्सेप्ट शादी का, ये तलाक के कॉन्सेप्ट के लिए बचने वाले नहीं हम, मैं बता दूं आपको। एंड इट्स नॉट जस्ट द वीमेन, हमने लड़कों को ट्रेन ऐसे किया जैसे तलाक का लफ्ज़ ऐसे कैजुअल जैसे नाश्ते का लफ्ज़ है। मैं आपको बताऊं, इंग्लैंड में मैं आपको भी मेरे ज़्यादा जानते हैं, मैं तो इंग्लैंड आए हुए, सेल फोन व्हाट्सएप के ऊपर 10,000 तलाकी चोर ऐसे कैजुअली लिख के दे रहे हैं। आप देखिए और क्या चाहिए आपको, मतलब क्या क्लैरिटी दूं और नहीं, व्हाट्सएप पर तो बात नहीं होती। व्हाट्सएप में क्या ताल्लुक है कि कैसे होती है, कि इसको कोई मीडियम तो नहीं लिखा हुआ। ये कौन सा लड़का है जिसको उसकी माँ ने बाप ने कहा था कि ये वाला लफ्ज़ बोल सकते हैं शादी के बाद? सेंसिटिव मुसलमान तो ये लफ्ज़ वैसे ही नहीं बोलता शादी के बाद कि भाई ये तो मामला इतना बड़ा है कि उस लड़की की आखिरत तबाह कर दूंगा मैं। एक यमनी स्कॉलर हैं, टोरंटो में थे, उसने एक मसला बताया इसी तरह मजमू में कि सर मैंने अपनी गर्लफ्रेंड को बोला 21, 22, so I just said to my girlfriend, yeah, okay, my wife is divorced, man, so I forget about it. He said, are you for real, man? Your wife is actually divorced now. You said it to your girlfriend, not even to your wife. And now your wife is divorced. You put a witness there. You go back to your wife, you're going to be performing zina. This and that poor girl doesn't even know that. This is such a big matter. I'm not going to speak about talaq or halala here. I'm just telling you, खुदा का वास्ता है, लड़कों को ट्रेन करें। लड़की ने थोड़ी तलाक देनी होती है। इस लड़के को इस उम्र में बताएं कि भैया शादी के बाद ये वाला लफ्ज़ मारे जाए ना बोली जब तक कि तुझे पता अल्लाह के असूल टूट रहे हैं औरत की तरफ से। अदरवाइज जिम्मा तेरा है। Everything that goes wrong in marriage is a man's fault. That's what the word kawam means. फेल हो जाए टीम कैप्टन को कुछ कहेंगे, बल्कि कैप्टन जाके वाइस कैप्टन को ब्लेम करें। Are you kidding me? Whatever goes wrong in this marriage, my fault. I'm the man. So this is a problem. उनको इजाज़तें खुला की हैं, उसमें भी तलाक हमसे दिलवाई जाती है। खुला में भी वो नहीं कहते थे हाँ जी साहिल मियां तुझे तलाक, ऐसे नहीं होता। तलाक खुला में भी तलाक में नहीं देनी है। So this is the age. Well, not this age, but you know, a little older. Please don't train them on talk. I'm just saying, you early on बच्चे को sensitivity बताएं कि भाई किसी लड़की को, कोई मुसलमान की बच्ची को easy नहीं लेना आपने. अल्लाह प्रोटेक्टर है इनका. अल्लाह प्रोटेक्टर है इनका. निचोड़ के रख देगा आखिर में तुम्हें. किस तरीके से सजा मिलेगी उस बंदे को कि इसने अल्लाह की प्रोटेक्शन को दुनिया में अपनी इख्तियारी मामलात में मिसयूज किया. जब अल्लाह ताला हमें गवाह बनाते हैं और तलाक का जिम्मा देते हैं तो इसका मतलब है अल्लाह इनको प्रोटेक्ट कर रहा है. कैसे? वो अहकाम हमारे से मिले. गौर से सोचिए मैं क्या कह रहा हूं कि अल्लाह खुद इनका प्रोटेक्टर बन गया है. जिम्मा हमें देखे. इस लेवल की सेंसिटिविटी है एक मुसलमान बच्ची में. इतना बड़ा जिम्मा है. मैं कह रहा हूं ना आपकी अयाशी भी है. कुछ सवाल ही नहीं आपसे. शादी है रखी नहीं तब भी अपने सवाल है, तोड़ नहीं तब भी अपने सवाल है. You just need to take care of that little child. कि भाई इसको स्ट्रक्चर कर दूं, दिल और दिमाग दोनों. Yes. Anything else? Yes, sir.
मेरा एक बुनियादी सवाल है. कल एक वालदा आई थी ड्यूसबरी के उसके
मस्जिद में बैठे किसी इंसान के लिए खड़ा होना सिर्फ शिद्दत से मना इस्लाम.
नहीं आपके लिए नहीं उठाऊँ. वो उनके 20-22 साल के बच्चे थे. वो रो रही थी कि जी बच्चे छोड़ के जो है ना वो अब ख्याल नहीं रखते और खावन भी छोड़ के चला गया. यहाँ हमने बच्चों की फाउंडेशन की बात की और फैमिली सिस्टम की बात की. यहाँ 3 बड़ी बुनियादी प्रॉब्लम है जिसको आपको एड्रेस करना चाहिए. यहाँ पर एक सिचुएशन ये है ब्रिटिश टू ब्रिटिश. तो जब ब्रिटिश टू ब्रिटिश जो यहाँ का बॉर्न है, यहाँ का पला बड़ा है, जब उनकी आपस में शादी होती है उनकी अंडरस्टैंडिंग काफ़ी बेहतर होती है. लेकिन अगर नहीं बनती तो वो अलग हो जाते हैं और एक दूसरे को कंट्रोल नहीं करते. कहते कि जी ये मेरी लाइफ है, मेरी मर्जी है. बीवी खावन से नहीं पूछ सकता, खावन बीवी से नहीं पूछ सकता. एक ही सिचुएशन है. यहाँ पर 3 किस्म के सिनेरियो
समझ आ गया.
जी. तो ये होता है कि उनकी अंडरस्टैंडिंग होती है काफ़ी हद तक. दूसरी बात ये होती है कि वो एक दूसरे को काफ़ी हद तक समझते हैं. फिर अगर बीवी कहे कि जी मेरा अपना टाइम है तो गैप दे देते हैं. खावन के पास अपना टाइम होता है कुछ करने के लिए. एक और सिचुएशन है कि अगर लड़का काबू में नहीं आ रहा वालिदैन के और वो उस सर्कल से बाहर है, वो क्या करते हैं बकरी पाकिस्तान से ले आओ. ठीक है. फिर उनको 5 साल दबाएं. ये बड़ी रियल सिचुएशन है. मैं आपको एक्सप्लेन कर रहा हूं. मतलब क्या बेकाबूपन दिखाएं. नहीं बेकाबूपन ये है कि लड़का फॉर एग्जांपल आवारा है.
इसका मतलब क्या बात है? मतलब
ड्रग्स में इन्वॉल्व है और बहुत सारे चीज में इन्वॉल्व है.
वो तो ब्रिटिश लड़की
नहीं सेकंड पाकिस्तान से उसके लिए लड़की लेकर आते हैं, उसको उसकी शादी करवाते हैं, 5 साल उनको दबाते हैं.
इनको
उस लड़की को
जो आई है
पाकिस्तान से आई हुई है.
ठीक है. ब्रिटिश दबेगी नहीं.
ब्रिटिश तो है ना. उनकी जब नहीं बनती वो आपस में अलग हो जाते हैं.
नहीं वो सिनेरियो छोड़ दें. मैं बकरी पाकिस्तानी बकरी लाऊंगा.
जी बिल्कुल.
ब्रिटिश लड़की क्योंकि मुझे पकड़ लेगी, मुझे बकरा बना देगी ना.
जी वो तो पकड़ लेगी.
ये इसलिए पाकिस्तानी लड़की
मैं आप इसीलिए पाकिस्तानी को लेकर आते हैं. जब
और वो आ भी जाती है.
वो आ भी जाती है खुशी से. ठीक है.
लेकिन स्टिल आ रहे हैं 70,000 साल है
जो पैसे भी आ रहे हैं.
शॉर्ट क्वेश्चन करेंगे.
ये कैसा मिसिंग आउट ऑन द
5 साल उनको दबाते हैं, उनसे खिदमतें करवाते
5
हैं.
साल.
जी जब उनको पेपर मिल जाता है
पासपोर्ट है ना.
जी जब उनको पेपर मिल जाता है वो धक्का देते हैं. ठीक है. दूसरी सिचुएशन ये है कि लड़की ऐसी है उसके लिए लड़का पाकिस्तान से लेकर आते हैं. ड्यूसबरी के फैक्ट्रियों में लड़के काम करते हैं जो शादी पर आए हुए हैं. हफ्ते के एंड पर लड़कियां वहां से जाती है, वेजेज ले लेती है. जब 5 साल पूरे हो जाते हैं वो अलग हो जाती है.
सवाल क्या है?
तो सवाल ये है कि जब बुनियाद ही ठीक नहीं है, मतलब ये रियल सिचुएशन है यहाँ पे. क्वेश्चन ये है कि वो बच्चों की कैसी अपब्रिंगिंग करेंगे और ज्यादती है लेके आने वाले के साथ भी लाने वाले के साथ भी तो फैमिली सिस्टम बन ही नहीं सकेगा. बच्चे की कैसे वो तरबियत कर सकते हैं.
I don't think there's a general rule here.
नहीं
Is it a general rule? It's not a general. But all of our rights are not Pakistani बकरियां हैं.
नहीं सब
बहुत सारी
नहीं
केसेस ऐसी हैं.
लेकिन है.
बहुत सारी.
Well, okay, you know why it's evil? I'll tell you why it's evil. It's not evil in England, it's evil in Pakistan as well. It's evil wherever evil is evil anywhere. Because if I am not Hibat फर्ज हो जाती है शादी के मामले में। समझते हैं साइकोलॉजी इस्लाम कि औरत के बारे में आदमी को और आदमी के बारे में औरत को बताया जाए कि ये बुराई है इसके अंदर। गीबत क्यों फर्ज है शादी के मामले में? ताकि ये धोखा ना हो सके। इसका मतलब ये है कि अगर आप कुछ छुपा रहे ना लड़के का या लड़की का, तो ऐसा दगा कर दिया आपने जो कुरान की ऐसी ऐसी आयतों के खिलाफ अहकाम है। याद रखिएगा, इट इज you're breaking those rules जो कुरान पाक की आयतें हैं। उसके बाद फिर हराम कारी आपके जिम्मे है। अगर आपने छुपाया तो जो कुछ भी होगा फिर आपके जिम्मे। जिसने छुपाया गवाही छुपा दी उसके जिम्मे है।
लेकिन जिनका बेटा ऐसा है ना, माँ सारी माँ छुपाएंगे क्योंकि अपना बेटा तो प्यारा होता है।
हाँ ना, तो किसी और को तो पता है ना, अगर उसने छुपाया तो फिर क्या फराई भी तो होगी ना। फिर माँ किसी के बाद बनेगी ना।
उन्हें नहीं परवाह, वो फिर भी छुपाएंगे।
हाँ, तो आखिर का डर नहीं है ना। ये तो कह रहा हूँ इस उम्र में बनता है आखिर का डर। अल्लाह आयशा रज़ियल्लाहु अन्हा कहती हैं कि अल्लाह अज़्ज़ व जल ने 8 साल तक सिर्फ आखिरत की आयतें नाज़िल की हैं शुरू में। जब पूरा अरब आखिरत ट्रेन हो गया था, उसके बाद अहकाम की आयतें हैं। इस एज में 8 साल शुरू के नहीं, इन द 8th 9th ईयर आखिरत ट्रेनिंग शुरू करें। उसके बाद आपको पता चलेगा, एक अहकाम बताएंगे ऐसे मानेगा। अल्लाह ने हम सबको ट्रेनिंग में बताया कि कुरान नाजिल करते हुए कि इंसान को ढूंढना कैसे है। अगर आखिरा नहीं है तो फिर किसी सवाब की सेंस ही क्या है? मुझे भी बताएं, इसके बगैर कैसे कोई सवाब करूँ मैं, या फिर गुनाह क्यों ना करूँ भैया? आखिरत ही नहीं है तो मैं बेवकूफ हूँगा अगर मैं गुनाह नहीं कर रहा। अगर आखिरत नहीं है तो मैं नाअहल भी हूँगा अगर मैं गुनाह नहीं कर रहा, चोरी नहीं कर रहा, जना नहीं कर रहा, डाके नहीं मार रहा। मैं क्यों ना लूटूं सारा कुछ अगर आखिरत नहीं है? ये सिर्फ आखिरत जो हमें रोकती है, वो हम दिखाते नहीं है बच्चे को। We need to put a 4K picture of Jahannam and Jannah in our kids' minds in the most beautiful storytelling way. That's how you're going to raise moments. Otherwise, they are going to be Muslims. That's the first thing a Muslim keeps forgetting. You know what, it's alright. और अब तो वो justification है, तो बाद में तौबा कर लूँगा। ये justification नंबर 2 पे आती है। इसको तोड़े थे, बाद में तौबा कर लूँगा। Pre-self क्या कहते हैं, सेल्फ अप्रूव्ड तौबा पहले से दिल में रखी हुई। जैसे मैं तौबा कबूल करने वाला हूँ, मैं बाद में तौबा करूँगा। ये 12वें और 17वें साल के बीच में ये फलसफा बनता है। पकड़ लो उसी वक्त कि तू अगर पहले से सोच तौबा करेगा तो तौबा हो ही नहीं सकती। You already knew कि मैं पहले तौबा करूँगा, इसलिए गुनाह कर रहा हूँ। मतलब पहले से पता है तुझे कि मैं बाद में तौबा करके गुनाह, तूने तौबा नल्लिफाई कर दी। बेसिक में आकर उसको समझाएंगे, उसको समझ आ रही कि फिर तो तौबा कर, मतलब अल्लाह बन के खेल रहा हूँ मैं। नाउज़ बिल्लाह तागूत हूँ मैं कि मैंने पहले फैसला किया मैं बाद में तौबा करूँगा, इसलिए गुनाह करा। इसका मतलब है कि मैंने अपनी तौबा खुद अप्रूव कर ली। सहाबा को नहीं कभी यकीन आया कि तौबा कबूल हुई है, हमें पहले से ही पता है, गुनाह से पहले पता है कि तौबा कबूल होगी। सिर्फ आदम अलैहिस्सलाम की तौबा अल्लाह ने कबूल की, खुद बताया मैंने की, इसलिए हमें पता है। तो और बताएं इंसानों को कैसे पता चलता तौबा कबूल होगी? हमने ट्रेनिंग में डाल दिया कि हमारे तो बस। और पता क्या, मोटिवेट करो मुसलमानों को तौबा की तरफ, वरना गुनाह बढ़ जाएगा। गुनाह बढ़ाने की अगर टेक्निक ही तौबा निकाली भी हो हमने, सेल्फ अप्रूव्ड तौबा, तो क्यों मैं मोटिवेट करूँ लोगों को तौबा पे? देखा करें माशरे में बीमारी कौन सी है, उसका वायरस पकड़े, उस वायरस को कैसे डिकोड करके वापस सर्जरी करनी है। हमने प्री अप्रूव तौबा का वायरस खुद डाला हुआ अपने जी।
मैंने आपसे ये पूछना था कि हर इंसान एक अलग से अहद लेता है दुनिया में, तो जो अपने अहद से खिलाफ वर्जी करता है तो क्या उसमें पेरेंट्स का है? तो ऐसे बहुत से लोग हैं जो गैर मुस्लिम है लेकिन मुसलमान हो जाते हैं, तो ऐसी कोई तो चीज़ है ना जो उनको उस अहद की याद कराती है। तो हमें क्यों नहीं अपना अहद याद आता? हम क्यों ब्लेम रखते हैं कि हमें पेरेंट्स ही हमें एक सोच देंगे या हमारी तरबियत करेंगे, हालांकि हर इंसान अल्लाह से एक अहद लेकर आएगा।
Okay, 2 things. Any child is going to tell you that if I don't remember the ahad, that means I'm not going to be able to fulfill it. So don't spin all of your Islam around that one ahad. It's memory. Memory of the ahad is not a condition. Quran is the memory of that ahad. Okay, that's why we have to have iman on that ahad, because the ahad is in the Quran. Okay. Otherwise, the child is going to be like, मुझे तो याद ही नहीं है इसलिए मुझे तो फर्क ही नहीं पड़ता. ये तो अगर मुझे चीज़ भूल गई है तो आप ही कहने में मैं मान लूँ. Don't spin it around. Don't put this as a pivotal. The memory is not the reason why we do any sawab or abstain from any gunas. उम्मे ईमन के पास अबू बकर सिद्दीक बैठे हुए हैं, उमर इब्न खत्ताब. Oh, okay, sure. Messages, okay.
Break and then change the topic. Come to the because covered first two, the one last one left is about political, especially the empowerment of the youth.
Okay.
They have to do.
So they want to break basically.
Okay, well, let's break.
We have a 5 minutes break. 5 minutes break.